Today I have the new iPad. It's a supercomputer to use at home or at work. But first, subscribe to the channel because I publish new videos every week and I will show you everything about this tablet, from unboxing, specifications, analysis, connectivity and demonstrations, to know everything about this iPad. To open the box, first I have to cut the plastic. I make a cut in the plastic so I can tear it, and now just pull the plastic all the way around and the box is able to be opened. So let's do that. Let's open this iPad box to see everything that's included in the box. We take off the lid and here is the iPad protected in a paper film. Later we'll see it in detail. Underneath is a small box with information leaflets, the user guide and the Apple stickers in white. I'll save it for now. We don't need the user guide. It has a power charger, a small transformer that we also will see in detail later, and a power and data cable, which is Lightning to USB-C cable. And that's all that comes in the box. There's nothing left in the box. And so what came inside the box of this 9th generation iPad? An iPad, a power charger, a Lightning to USB-C cable, and some leaflets with information. The iPad comes with a power charger and a cable for power and data. Starting with the charger, it is protected in a paper film. It is a small piano-white charger with a USB-C connection. This charger is the Apple A2347 model, a 20-watt charger, which has a power output of 5 volts 3 amps or 9 volts 2.2 amps. It also has a data and power cable, which is a cable with a USB-C plug to connect to the charger and a lightning plug to connect to the iPad. And this cable, it's only 1 meter long. For this reason, you will have to place the iPad close to the power source. Let's see the features of the iPad 9, the 9th generation iPad, and later I will talk in detail about all the specifications. Let's start by taking off the protective film. We'll peel off the film that protects the tablet, peel it off all the way around, and here's the iPad. So beautiful. This iPad has a screen with a diagonal of 10.2 inches. It's a multi-touch screen. It has an Apple A13 Bionic processor, 3 GB of RAM, with storage up to 256 GB. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The screen is Retina display multi-touch. You can use multiple fingers for interaction. It has a 32 Wh battery and it comes with the iPad OS 16 operating system. About the iPad connectivity, the inputs and outputs. For wireless connectivity, it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and cellular. On the front, it has a touch screen. It has a Touch ID button with fingerprint reader, an ultra-wide webcam that records in 1080p. At the bottom, it has a Lightning connector compatible with charging, HDMI, DisplayPort and VGA. It has 2 stereo speakers. On the right side, it has only 2 buttons for sound volume, more and less. On the top, it has the on and off button. There is 2 holes, which are the microphones. There are 2 to capture the sound from the front and from the back. And there's another 3.5mm jack for audio. On the left side, it has a smart connector, which allows you to connect a smart keyboard. At the back, here's the microphone I mentioned earlier, but there's also a 1080p wide-angle camera for videos and photos. And this iPad does not have any more physical connectivity, that's all. We already seen that the screen is tactile and multi-touch. I can interact with 1, 2 or 3 fingers. The diagonal of the screen measures 10.2 inches. The screen is backlit with LED light. It has a resolution of 2160 by 1620 pixels. It's a true tone screen that adjusts brightness. It has 500 nits of brightness. The screen surface has a oleophobic protection for fingerprint-resistant coating, and it's compatible with the first generation Apple Pencil. All the sensors that this iPad has. We start with the screen, which has a touch sensor. The entire screen is multi-touch, so it can detect either you're touching with one finger, two fingers, or three fingers. On the bottom is a Touch ID, that is a fingerprint reader that allows, with your finger, to unlock the iPad, confirm access, or authorize internet purchase. It also has a gyroscope. As it rotates, it can detect where it is tilted. It also has an accelerometer. As I move the iPad, quickly or slow, it can detect that movement. It has a barometer to measure the pressure of the atmosphere, a brightness sensor which detects light intensity and adjusts the screen brightness intensity and color temperatures for better visual comfort. It also has a compass and a proximity sensor. As I move the iPad closer or further away from me, can detect the proximity. This iPad has two cameras, a front camera and a rear camera. Starting with the front camera, it's a 12 megapixel camera with an ultra-wide angle, with a field vision of 122 degrees. It automatically frames the user image, records video in 1080p up to 60 fps, with image stabilization, and it takes pictures in HDR. So it is a good camera for everyday use. It's one of the best front cameras I've seen. The rear camera is on the top corner. It is a 8 megapixel wide angle camera, records video in 1080p with 3 times video zoom, records in slow motion at 120 fps. It has image stabilization and records in H264 or HEVC format. The design of this iPad is very similar to previous versions. They are gradually making changes. It is completely different from the first iPad, but similar to the previous iPad. It is made of aluminum. It has a very smooth curved edge, which connects to the front, which has a glass surface. So it is a very recognizable design of Apple products, especially the iPad. About the physical characteristics of this iPad, it has a Touch ID, one on and off button, 2 sound volume buttons, 1 smart connector, 2 speakers, 1 lightning connector, and 2 cameras, one on the front and one on the back. About the weight and measurements, it weighs 498 grams, so half a kilogram. It's not that heavy. Let's measure. Let's start with the width on the front. The width measures 17.4 centimeters. The height measures 25.1 centimeters. Let's put it on its side. The thickness measures 7.5 millimeters. So it's very thin. So this is the weight and measurements of this new iPad. Apple continues to use recyclable materials on its products. Let's put it on the sponge so it doesn't scratch. So on this iPad, the whole back structure is made with aluminum, 100% recycled. On the front, it has a glass surface, which covers the entire screen, even to the edge of the screen. And the buttons are plastic, but they are very small buttons and don't make much difference. So these are the materials used in this new iPad. Some positive aspects about this new iPad. The display is compatible with the first generation Apple Pencil and the Smart Keyboard. The front camera is ultra-wide angle, great for video calls, recording yourself or take selfies, and it does an automatic framing of the user. It also has True Tone, so it adapts the brightness intensity of the screen and color tones according to the environment. And some negative aspects. It has a Lightning connection, so it doesn't have a USB-C connection. The memory is not DDR5. It does not have an M1 or M2 processor, does not record 4K video. It can only be bought in two colors, space gray or silver. It could have a variety of colors, more vibrant and happy colors. It doesn't take pictures in RAW, which would be good for photographers. And the slow motion doesn't record at 120 FPS in high definition. How to open or repair this iPad? You won't be able to do that, because the iPad is not made to be opened or repaired. The entire structure is glued to the screen. Therefore, without the technical skills and appropriate tools, you will not be able to open the iPad without damaging or leaving marks. So, don't try to open the iPad. But who is this iPad aimed at? Who is the target consumer? It is that person who wants to use the internet, read and respond to emails, watch movies, play games, but also draw. With a medium-sized screen, this iPad is targeted for more than 95% of customers. Let's see in detail the technology specifications of this new iPad. About the technology, it has the processor A13 Bionic with neural engine, with storage up to 256 GB, 3 GB of memory, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and cellular connectivity, a 10.2-inch screen with a 32 watt-hour battery for an autonomy of 10 hours using Wi-Fi. It has the connectivity Wi-Fi 5, Bluetooth 4.2, Lightning connector for charging and data, 3.5mm headphone plug, a smart connector and a slot for a nano SIM. Physically, it weighs 498 grams, measures 17.4 centimeters by 25.1 centimeters by 0.75 centimeters. It has one power button and volume buttons, two cameras, front and back, two stereo sound speakers, and two microphones. The screen is Retina Display XDR with 10.2 inches, 2160 by 1620 pixels resolution. It's multi-touch with LED backlight, 500 nits of brightness. It has an oleophobic coating and it's compatible with the Apple Pencil. It has the sensors Touch ID with fingerprint reader, gyroscope, accelerometer, barometer, ambient light sensor, compass, and proximity sensor. It has two video and photo cameras, records video in 1080p with video stabilization, it does automatic framing, records in slow motion at 120 fps, and takes photos in HDR. But some features it does not have. No USB-C connection, no slot for an additional memory card, does not record video in 4K, and it doesn't have wireless charging. And these are the essential specifications you need to know to decide if this is the best tablet for you. This was another video about the new iPad, but there will be more videos to know everything about this tablet. Now, subscribe to the channel because I post new videos every week, like the video, and if you have any question, write in the comments.